Thank you for being here to honor this amazing educator and to celebrate her brilliant career. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. That's a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. I came to Rossville Middle School in 2006, fresh out of the United States Army, where I had the privilege of working alongside some of the greatest human beings I've ever known. Many of them heroes who had sacrificed their lives, and some who did, without hesitation for cause and country. When I began to adjust to life as a civilian, I never anticipated encountering the kind of heroism I did while I was in uniform. I can truly say that as far as I'm concerned, there is no other profession on earth that matches the nobility and urgency of the profession of arms, except for one. The Latin phrase in loco parentis literally means in the place of parents. We've all encountered that term, and we all understand, at least notionally, that the classic role of the educator is to stand in the place of parents while students are under their care. At Rossville Middle School, this is not a mere concept. It's something we take very seriously. Indeed, everything worth doing in education is an extension of good parenthood. And we have a school full of stellar parents who come here every day, often underappreciated, to coach, teach, mentor, care for, love, parent students. Many of whom come from extraordinarily painful and traumatic contexts. They do it without hesitation. They do it many times at great personal sacrifice. They dedicate their lives to their students. They are, as much as soldiers and sailors, heroes. The heroes that walk the halls of Rossville Middle School are exceptional, but I can't think of anyone who casts a longer shadow than the great Juanita Foster, whose nearly 70 years of service to the students of this county and district have been the living embodiment of in loco parentis, of heroism. She is the longest serving teacher in the state of Georgia. She is one of only a handful that hold a lifetime teaching certificate. She has touched the lives of nearly every adult and child that has passed through the halls of Rossville Middle School and Ridgeland High School. She is, to quote Ulysses, a part of all she's met. Her career has spanned 13 U.S. presidencies, 2 British monarchs. She's seen the very best and very worst of humanity, but as her career turned in years and then decades, the heart of her heroism was always a simple humility and love, punctuated with a daily walk in a Bible verse. The purpose of life, said Eleanor Roosevelt, is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. What a summary of the brilliant career of Miss Foster. Reaching out eagerly and without fear. That's not some broad concept. Miss Foster is fearless. She's consistent, fair, firm, bold, motherly, fatherly, and wise. But she's not afraid of change. She's not firmly set in her ways. She's not unteachable. And if anyone should be unteachable, it's her. But her heroism is a heroism of humility that recognizes how big the world is, how magnificent the advances of humankind are, how change and progress should be embraced and not shunned. I'll give you just one small example. You can like, follow, and subscribe to Miss Foster on TikTok at Juanita Foster 1946. That's a true story. You can watch some of her best digital content on the official RMS TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Real RMS Bulldogs. Make sure you put that on the I love Miss Foster. She carried me along early in my career as a mentor, mother, and co-teacher for 3 years, never forgetting to bring me a foot-long subway every single day. And while I certainly appreciated the subways, I'm far more appreciative of the wisdom, guidance, and friendship that I've received from her since the very day I first met her in 2006. I'm proud that today is Miss Juanita Foster Day. It's well-deserved, but of course, it's only a small token of appreciation for a career that has shaped, molded, and guided thousands of lives, and through their connections, certainly millions. Thank you all for coming today to share in this special recognition, but thank you most of all to my hero, Miss Foster, who tastes experience to the utmost and reaches out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experiences. Go Bulldogs.
I will not add to those eloquent words. I will say this. Thank you for your legacy. Every educator gets into the business to have that legacy right there. That's the goal. And our workforce today doesn't look like this anymore, does it? And she is the shining example of what an educator is supposed to be. And if I could be half of that person, that would be a successful career for me. So, Ms. Foster, thank you. thank you for everything you've done and the impact that you've had. We appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. First thing I need to do is get a hug. I didn't prepare anything, but she's Miss Juanita Foster, somebody that's easy to talk about. I think just from what you've heard already, you can see that she's timeless. To me, that just represents her, her kindness, her generosity, her loving ways, her resilience, and just the reason she comes to work every day. I just think that's the passion behind what makes her such a great young lady. At her age, every day she comes to work. Sometimes she would pass me in the hallways as I was going to a meeting. She'd walk past me. In her age, I was a little bit younger than her, and just say, "Good morning, Mr. Pelham." Just that kind of person in our building makes a huge difference. And I just love working with Juanita Foster. The difference that she makes is what we look for in education. I've been, in the very few short years of 29 that I've been in education, when you look to hire a new teacher, you look for somebody that has the qualities and the characteristics that Juanita Foster has. And those are things that you can't find very easily. And you make everywhere you're at a brighter place, whether it's in the classroom, it's in the hallways, I'm sure your community, but we just love you so much and are so proud of you. And I'm a better person because I know Juanita Foster.
I'd like to invite Mr. Shannon Whitfield, Chairman of the Board of Commissioners of Walker County, to read the Walker County Commissioners' proclamation for Juanita Foster Day.
Well, it's great to be here today, and I know I have already been inspired in many ways, one of which I've got to get on TikTok. I did not realize, truly, I did not realize what I was missing. I'm going to have to go back and get me a TikTok account and look at Miss Juanita Foster's, some of your content. I'm excited. But on behalf of the Board of Commissioners of Walker County, I have a proclamation that I would like to present you today. Proclamation by the Walker County Board of Commissioners for Juanita Foster Day. Whereas Ms. Foster began her teaching career at Wallsville Elementary School in Walker County in 1956 during a time of racial injustice. And whereas she would not be deterred from her God-given calling to serve students in Northwest Georgia. And whereas Ms. Foster, one day, only a handful of teachers who holds a lifetime teaching certificate from the state of Georgia. And whereas her teaching career has spanned 13 United States presidents, ranging from President Eisenhower to President Biden, along with civil rights movements, Vietnam War, the end of the Cold War, 9/11, post-COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas Ms. Foster began personally involved in monumental historic events, including marching with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and whereas she began she's being a loving spouse and mother, nurturing educator, generations of students, and living embodiment of a classic educational charge of loco parentis. Therefore, I, Shannon K. Whitfield, on behalf of the Walker County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim Friday, October the 7th, 2022, as Ms. Foster's Day in Walker County, in recognition of her professionalism and unwavering dedication to the Rossville community and the students of this county. Her service has left a lasting impression in Walker County. Signed and sealed the 7th day of October 2022, Chairman Shannon K. Whitfield. So we would like to present you this proclamation because today is your day. What you do for our community. Thank you.
And on a similar note, I will read on behalf of the office of the Mayor of the City of Rossville a proclamation. Whereas educators take on many roles as listeners, explorers, role models, motivators, mentors, and so much more, they continue to influence each of us long after school days are only memories. Whereas Mrs. Juanita Foster began her teaching career in Walker County in 1956, her teaching career spanned 13 U.S. presidencies, the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, the end of the Cold War, and the post-9/11 world. She has been personally involved in momentous world events like marching with Dr. King. Whereas as an African-American woman, she witnessed firsthand the tragedies of segregation and Jim Crow. Nothing, however, deterred her from her God-given calling of serving the students of Northwest Georgia, regardless of race, whether it be at the segregated Wallaceville Elementary School, where she began her career under the leadership of the legendary Mr. Eugene Ward, or at Rossville Middle School, where she currently serves. Whereas Ms. Foster is one of only a handful of teachers who hold a lifetime teaching certificate in the great state of Georgia. Whereas she's been a loving spouse and mother, and she has been a nurturing educator to generations of students in Rossville, Georgia. Whereas Ms. Foster is a living embodiment of the classic educational charge to be in loco parentis. Whereas she is a treasure of the Rossville community, she is universally respected and beloved by all the stakeholders of Walker County Schools. Now, therefore, in recognition of her professionalism and her unwavering dedication to the Rossville community and the students of Walker County and the city of Rossville, Georgia, I, Teddy Harris, Mayor of the City of Rossville, do hereby proclaim October 7, 2022 as Mrs. Juanita Foster Day. And now I'm going to, because Ms. Foster does and always has run the show, she just said, you know what, I'll say something. So,
I'm a little lightheaded, but I need to say something. I'm just so grateful to all of you for honoring me on this day. I received a card from my superintendent. I was so surprised when I received a card from him, the Board of Education. I received all of my colleagues, Kim, Ms. Shaw, all of my colleagues. I'm just grateful to you. I'm just so thankful that you thought enough of me to honor me on this day. So, thank you. Mr. Pelham, I can't leave you out. Thank you.
We invite you all to stay. We've got some refreshments here. Ms. Foster is free to leave when she wants to. But we thank you all for being here and for making this a special day for a very special educator. Thank you. Go Bulldogs.